Hi, I'm Mike Rees. Today I'm at the factory here in Izmir, Türkiye, where we've got our 1170 production facility set up. We're going to go through the production facility, learn a bit about some of the latest developments in our new 1170 production line, and then we're going to go down to the marina, which is in Izmir, and we'll meet some of the owners who've had boats launched recently and get to see what it's really like to have a boat built here and then launched, and understand what the local sailing's like and what the handover process is like. So at Seawind, operating now in Türkiye, we have brought over as much information and boat building knowledge as we can from our factory in Vietnam. And from my perspective, I've worked as a production manager, managing the production in Australia. I've then gone to Vietnam. I've run the operations there for 10 years. And it's a delight to then come here to Türkiye and see the team working. And without a doubt, that knowledge is transferred. And you see this sort of level of documentation that the guys are working with here. And here's just a basic example. And you know, these are drawings that we've developed in Vietnam and then sent to our team here using the same infusion strategies and materials. When we go into the assembly stages, they're using the same technical boat building skill sets that we've developed over 40 years of business at Seawind. That's here in Türkiye. The team are using that, and it's really an evolution of how we build the boats and how we design the boats, and it's all using the same Seawind standard. Okay, so here we are down in the lamination stage, the first stage of production here. And behind me, we've got the 1170 hull mold. We have the deck mold here to my left as well. And we'll just quickly go through the production line to see how all those stages work and how you go from an empty mold to a completed boat. Okay, so we're inside the hull mold here, and it's a fully infused PVC foam core hull. And as you can see in the 1170, we've actually got quite a lot of carbon reinforcement. We do that just to try and make sure we get the optimal laminate. Obviously, cost versus weight is always the challenge in boat building. So all the core reinforcement areas we can see wherever you've got black stripe, that's your carbon reinforcement. So where I'm standing here, this is across the back, the trifold door area, a high load area, and you can see we'll have the main bulkhead going in there too. So carbon reinforcement where we need it. That means we can get our weight down, but we don't make the product so expensive that it becomes unaffordable. And you can see throughout the laminate, PVC foam core everywhere. Again, that's sort of standard boat building practice these days. No balsa in the boat at all. In the workshop, we have a mezzanine floor here where we have all of our timber shop and upholstery shop. We also do some smaller composite parts up here, really reserving the large part production for the lower level. And here in the joinery shop, we've recently invested in this CNC machine. For boat building, when you're not doing a full mass production, when you're still doing a sort of a semi-custom or a slower production side of things, it's still a very manual, labor-intensive job. But the key thing is to bring in the technology to improve that, to get your accuracy and your production times up. So we use a CNC machine for a number of items in the timber kits that we install on the boats. But we also use it for some of our tooling, making molds, or we do some aluminium work for backing plates, all sorts of different things in production. But the actual process of assembling the joinery is still very much a manual process. And in Türkiye, similar to Vietnam, that's one of the core skills of the country here. It's a big manufacturing country. It has excellent textile and excellent timber working skills. Hence why we decided to come to Türkiye as a manufacturing base for our boat building. So in the shop here, we've got full set of equipment where the guys do a lot of manual processes, and that's the skill set that we can bring to our production that perhaps some of the more higher volume production boat builders don't do so much. It's there's a bit more real joinery, a little bit more craftsmanship that goes into that kind of work. Our production facility here in Türkiye is an absolutely purpose-built factory for our 1170 production line. So when we developed the factory layout, we knew exactly what we wanted to do. I mean, obviously we've been building boats for a number of years, and we created a factory layout which is purpose-built to be able to run our production going down a production line. So we have a number of stages. We just were looking at the moldings, the large part moldings on the production floor, but when you then go into the assembly and the fit-out stages, we have these elevated platforms, and as you can see, we've got excellent ventilation, so we have extraction fans, we've got a lot of fans blowing in here. In Türkiye, we need to have heating for the winter. It's surprising, it does get quite cool here, so it's a heated factory. But then a lot of dust control and a lot of purpose-built factory equipment just for efficiency, and also to make sure we've got a great working environment for our team here. So the same as our production that we had in Australia and in Vietnam, very much it's a linear production line. So down in one end, we've got the hulls and decks being produced. We then come down to our early assembly stages. Here we've got one of our grinding bays. So we've got our curtains in, extraction out, lots of air being pumped in, and we do our final sort of messy stage here. We then come through into the assembly stages and then onto the fit out stage. So this curtain really is the divide between the sort of the dirtier work and then coming into the clean space. In this area, we're then going to start putting in some of our plumbing, and then we go down to the next stage and we're doing our timber work. So as the boat progresses, obviously it has, each month we move the production line down. The guys then reset and they do another month's worth of work. So they're working on a 4-week cycle just to keep going, do their 4 weeks, and then the boats will move down the production line. So as we keep coming down the production line, we're in the fit-out zone here. So as with all the boats, we'll have a specification on the board at the back, so the guys know exactly what build spec to run to. They're doing, in this section, they're doing the early electrical, they've got some plumbing, and that's really, we're in the sort of the early stages of the clean work, the more the bolt it, fix it type, fasten it type work, as opposed to the grinding and the glassing and the dirtier work that we're doing down in the assembly stage. But coming in this area, you can see we start having to protect the boat. The boat's becoming a lot more finished, and then we'll go through and this is where it really starts looking like a finished boat, and it really starts getting tailored to the customer's specification. So we're in the 6th stage here, and you'll see mostly the electrical work, timber work going in this area. So we're really at the tail end of the fit out, final stage before we then go to our last section. So very much the customization of the customer's build order goes in here. A lot of the equipment that we're bringing in from overseas installed in this location. So let's go have a look. So we've got our electrical team working through here. Try and separate our team. So we have the electrical team in, the timber workers will come in on a separate stage. And this boat's a Victron specification, so you can just see some of the Victron gear going in. Obviously, electrical panels, battery controls, all going in. So huge amount of work. They can do a reasonable amount of pre-work off the boat, and then the kits come in and then get installed inside the boat. So we're at stage 9, which is the final testing stage. Boat's obviously turned around, ready to go out the factory, and we're just going through the final installation. A lot of electrical commissioning work that gets done here. They do the final detail and QC checks, where we'll go through and boat gets marked up. Anything that needs to be tidied up gets tidied up, and then from here we can lift the boat up on the cranes, gets loaded up onto the truck, and we then truck the boat down to the marina where it gets launched. So that journey is about half an hour. From the highway down to the marina, the boat then gets craned off the truck and then put into our launch facility. So stage 9 is our final QC bay, and as you can see, we've got the upholstery's just gone in, all the joinery's done, and the guys are really just going through the systems checks. So all the inspection panels are off here. We've got the aircon that's being run at the factory before it goes in the water. All of the electrical systems, quite a process to commission everything with all of the different electrical equipment that's on board. We've got the exterior screens that are just being fitted at the moment. That's all stuff you do right at the end, just in the final bay. So we've got a normal production cycle. So you've got 4 weeks in this bay, and the boat gets completely tidied up as it is now. We'll then have our QC guys going through for another round. They do QC throughout all of the production line, but this final round is a real detailed one. Once everything's been cleaned up, they'll go through and they'll mark up anything that needs any kind of attention. Everything gets fixed up, and then we're ready for launch.